Okay, so peace and love, family, and welcome to day two of the Find Your Phoenix workshop. I'm really excited about today because today is actually what lays the foundation. It's what sets the tone. It's what sets you up for success. And oh, hi, Miss Nicole. There you are. We have a very special guest with us tonight. I can't even wait to introduce this special guest, but just in a nutshell, today is day two, and it's all about getting your mind right. Because it's one thing to have purpose, it's one thing to have some goals, but if your mind is not in alignment with that, it'll be counterproductive. What you think in your mind manifests in your reality. So if you feel like, hey, I can do this, hey, like nothing can stand in the way of what is meant for me. If you really lock into that and you have a tribe and you have a community that is like behind you 100%, you're gonna be all right. And so real quick, not even real quickly, but um yeah, some of you know my story. Yesterday, I talked about my timeline, my milestone. I mentioned a very special man yesterday who believed in me, came into my world and believed in me. And he's on our call tonight. He's our special guest. And before I introduce my father-in-law, I want to tell you something. I grew up in a trailer park. Hello? I grew up in Cary's trailer park. My mother, she's on here. Shout out to my mama for double digit years clean. But my mother was an addict. My mother was a drug and alcohol. My mother was a drug and alcohol addict, and I saw a lot of things that I can't, forget. But at the end of the day, we made it through. And statistically, according to our circumstances, according to where we were, according to, all of the things that we were experiencing, statistically, I should have been pregnant way early, right? I should have had I would maybe should have been statistically a teenage mom. Statistically, I could have technically been high school dropout. There's so many different things. Statistically, I could have died sooner. I could have been raped because our environment, because the lifestyle, that's what it yielded. So statistically, according to society, the outcome's supposed to be a little different. But according to God, baby, I'm right where I'm supposed to be today. According to God, we are where we are. So today is very important, and it's so powerful to me because a lot of times we let our brains get all foggy and cloudy because we think about our circumstances. We think that we're not qualified. We think that we're not qualified to be successful. We think that we're not qualified to be a billionaire. That sounds like foreign language, and it's not. And so I'm gonna tell you, um was I got fired from my dream job. I tell this story all the time because my dream job is a part of my journey. And my dream job, I felt like I made it, and I felt like I was validated because a Fortune 500 company hired me. I did it, I'm that girl. And I found a lot of validation in external things. And what Allah has shown me and taught me is the validation comes from within. But that's not something that we just like wake up and be like, oh, I just had this huge revelation. Like sometimes it comes from people believing in us or people coming into our world, saying something or reading a book. A lot of times there are people that can come and relay a message for you. So I got fired from Delta, and that was my everything. I did not have a plan B because I was thinking so minimal, so little of myself that I made it. Like I wanted to die a Delta flight attendant, retire a Delta flight attendant. I wanted to be that old woman walking through the airport, still fly with her stilettos. Like I wanted to be 75, still working for Delta. Like that was just like my dream, and I wanted to do that. I already was talking to the senior mamas about their choice of lipstick. because one day, senior mama, I'm gonna be a senior mama. So like that was like my goal. But I got fired. I didn't have a plan B. So it's like, oh my God, now what? And then I months later found out I'm pregnant. So now I'm really like, oh God, like what now? Like what comes of this? And so I then wanted to find a better something better for myself, something better for my daughter. And I didn't know what that looked like. I ended up going to Egypt. I spent my last going to Egypt, and I was so inspired there. I was so inspired. I felt like my purpose was revealed to me, but I didn't have clear vision. I didn't really have a clear vision of, okay, I have a purpose, but what is the long-term vision? What is the legacy here? What am I actually going to get out of this? And this is where my father comes in. God is so good, y'all. Like, God is so good, will bring you exactly who you need, when you need, where you need. Like, God does not play about us. Hello, God don't play when it comes to us. So, my father, who I didn't know was my father at the time, we met and we started to talk, and my father was like, you got some big ideas, like you can do this, you like on Rihanna level, like billionaire type. And I'm looking at him like, okay, but he did not know me. He was transmitting something he was feeling spiritually. I had no idea that my now father-in-law, my father, was so tapped in spiritually. I had no idea what his position was, but we just connected, and he was giving me spiritually, transmitting things spiritually to me that I needed to hear right then and there. So I started to see the vision now. Like now the purpose becomes vision. And now I'm like, okay, all right, this is making sense. And so we began to cultivate our relationship, and we began to become um we just became he started to guide me and really allow me to look at me. Like I was looking within, I was looking at me, and it was so amazing because I had that like younger when I was like an athlete. My mom poured into me, believed in my vision. But when it came to the entrepreneur journey, when it came to really believing that I can step outside of a 9 to 5 and have success, when it came to believing that I don't have to even birth my daughter in a hospital, like my mama didn't come from that generation. So she supported me, like she supported anything I said, but that wasn't her experience. And so I'm so thankful because my father then came through and was like, this is vision now. You have purpose. You're here. You have purpose. This is vision. So he's on this call with us tonight because it's very, very, very important that I really share my real lived journey and experience with you. And this is a person who was a key component to where I am today. Not to mention, he's now my father-in-law, so the father of my husband, not even realizing that he was gonna, also give me my husband. But today is all about getting your mind right. And before I introduce my father, I just want to remind you, I want to remind you that um today is about getting your mind right. And before he speaks to us about vision and clarity and whatever else spiritually he wants to transmute, that is his stamp. That's what he is qualified to do. But I want you all to know that you are 100% qualified. I don't care if you lived under a bridge. You are qualified to be a billionaire. You are qualified to be financially free. You are qualified to build generational wealth for your family. You are qualified to be able to walk in purpose, in power, doing what you love, making money. You are qualified. So I just want to remind you that anything that we've experienced in the past, anything that you feel like, oh, I'm ashamed, baby, that's a part of the journey and it's a part of the mission. And I'm just so grateful to be before you today, and I'm so happy to share space even with my mother, who is my best friend, my right hand, like just everything that I could ever ask for in all like a best friend. Even though she's my mother, I respect her so much as a mom. But from where we came from to where we are now, one, you can't tell me nothing about God not being real. Like, I'm gonna have to argue with you down. And two, you can't tell me that what you done been through and what you've done disqualifies you from anything. Because people, we done some stuff. And like I said, I've seen, my mom go through some things. And for her to be in some of the rooms that she's in now, it's like, okay. So now I want to introduce to you my father Hassan. And he is his story. Every time we sit and we talk, I learn something new about him. Every single time I'm listening to his stories, I'm like, you did what, where, when? And like, he's fluent in Arabic. He's just so well versed, so well respected. And when it comes to really being tapped in and really listening clearly to a vision and really understanding building a dynasty and building a legacy, he is that person that really gets it and really helped me to cultivate a foundation for myself where I can truly walk in that too. Like, I love having conversations with him because he don't make me feel like I'm crazy. Like, I be thinking so big. He's like, yeah, baby girl, you got it. Like, it's all like today and lunch. She's like, yeah, y'all billionaires. I was like, okay, thanks, Dad. Thank you. But today he's here with us. He has traveled all around the world. He has studied oh gosh, in countless countries. He speaks Arabic fluently. He is a certified spiritual master and life coach. And he, at the moment, dedicates his life to really guiding the family. But I believe that he will begin to offer his gifts to others in the near future. But at this time, I would like to introduce you to my father and father-in-law, Hassan. Are you here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay. All right. Well, peace, everyone. I'm going to open with some brief words of Arabic. It's how we open praising the Most High and the one who he chose to make himself known to us. So, نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. We can get into the translation a little bit later. I wanted to greet my daughter and daughter-in-law, Zainab, Ali Clark. Assalamu alaikum. And I'm so honored to be here. I just don't feel surprised to be here because I just feel like this is another step in the evolution toward realizing all these things that we're just kind of cascading into as we sojourn through life. This theme of Find Your Phoenix is so powerful because, as you know, the phoenix is a bird from the I think the Metu Neter tradition that finds its rebirth in destruction. So it just renews itself. So it's a symbol of a renewal, and renewal is something that's so urgently needed by humankind, especially in this age, because people are being pressed to the point of feeling like they have no hope, and they just give up. And there are people that profit from that wrong belief because there is an elite group, which I don't want to get into, but there's an elite group that wants to transform this wondrous human being into a battery that they can just plug into a machine. And then that machine just keeps running and you just don't even know what your purpose is. So I love when you put that slide up that said about qualified, because I am, we absolutely are. And I want to touch upon some points: renewal, rebirth, purpose, value. And I want to start with value because a lot of times you see in social media and different, areas, television, you see people talking about success and blessings, and 99.9% of the time, success and blessings are denominated in fiat currency. So someone will get $1,000 more than they normally get, or 10,000, or a million, or a billion, and they equate that with blessing. And then another person may have far less than that, and the implication is that there must be something defective about that person, or they have a lack of blessing because they have less fiat currency. And this is not the case. You, me, every human being literally has life breathed into us by the creator of the heavens and the earth. And then we're imbued with a soul that is priceless. There's no dollar amount you can put on your soul, because your soul is immortal, right? It comes from the immortal source and goes on forever. So therefore, you're far more than just this matter, than just this physical being. And so we are spiritual beings having a temporal or physical experience in this realm. And I've said in other talks about this realm reality, that we're in the third of 6 successive realms, and they culminate in immortality. This is a fact. This is something that has to be really overstood by us. There are 2 terms that I want to share with you in Arabic. One is yaqeen. Yaqeen means certainty, not confidence, certainty, no doubt, not belief, no, absolute knowing, right? And the other is irada. Irada is will. So these 2 keys help you to unlock the power of rebirth and renewal. So when you are aspiring to accomplish a task, you can't allow yourself to fall into the mindset that maybe it will happen, perhaps it's going to happen. You have to have yaqeen that it absolutely will take place. And the question is why? Because irada, will, is an attribute that the Lord Most High loaned each and every one of us, that allows us to a degree to will things into existence. I'll give you an example from popular culture. The basketball player, Michael Jordan, everybody admires him, and he's known for all his, success in basketball and in business. Michael Jordan's parents, I think his father was 5'8" and his mother was about 5'5", and all his family members were very short people. Okay. And he was cut from his basketball team. I believe they said he was 5'10", and that may have been in May or June. And he came back to his high school that September. He was 6'6". His mother said she would watch him hanging himself from trees upside down. He was doing anything he could to try and make himself taller. And he's the only person in his family with that size, the only one, because of irada. Okay. And I saw one of his coaches make a statement about, I'm just using him because he's a very common, popular reference. He said that the thing about Michael Jordan, it wasn't his talent, it was that he was always in the moment, in his purpose, at every instant. So that's something I'm sure we've all heard of this man and are witnesses to his success. We have to harness this same power in our own lives. It's an absolute necessity. So irada is something that you engender with silence and focus. So I'm not suggesting that you never speak, but I am suggesting that we speak less as a people. A lot of our time is spent now squandered in devices, computers, iPads, telephones, and these things crowd our sensory with images and thoughts that we don't ourselves create from within. They're external and they're foisted upon us. And so we wind up under a very powerful mind control, for lack of a better term, and we're unable to birth this certainty, because you're bombarded with images of eviction. Everything is doubt. fear, all these things that put you almost in panic mode. And once you go into that area, then you lower your station as a human being, because men and women are very high, noble beings. We are the highest of the food chain of created beings. And this is very important. It's something that has to be reflected upon every day. And we've got to be exceedingly grateful for that place. Okay, so we have that place. What do we do with it? So when you find your reason, each and every one of us has a specific reason why we're here. Okay. Some people have the purpose of being a trash collector, and that's a beautiful thing, because as long as they do it as though their life depends upon it, they're going to be the best at that. Some of us, we have the purpose of discovering cures to new diseases, of feeding multitudes of different things. Whatever your purpose is, you have to manifest that. But you'll never manifest it when your sensory is clogged with the imagery and suggestions of external entities. So you have to find inner stillness. This is a science. I'm simplifying it, but these are absolute necessities in order for you to achieve success. And when I say success, again, I'm not saying just monetarily. I'm not referring to you just having so much money or a big house or all these things. Success is inner contentment. So I want to repeat that. Success is inner contentment. So I want you to reflect upon something. How many people do you know, or have you met in your life that you know personally, are consistently in a state of contentment and inner serenity, minus some sort of drug or alcohol or any of that? They are content with where they are in the moment in their lives. How many people do you know like that? And then juxtapose that number with how many people have the energy of, if I had a little bit more of this, or if I could only do that, or if I should have done this, or I should have. That's just inner turbidity and turmoil. See, this is just really the state of modern people, is not one of gratitude, but one of absolute turbidity and chaos inside. And then they're taught that if you get a little bit more material wealth, all that inner misery will go away. And it's a tremendous lie. It leads to insanity. It leads to drug abuse. It leads to all sorts of immoral, bad behaviors. And this is not what you and I were sent here to do. So we were created to worship the Most High. So does that mean you just sit in prayer all day? Not in a specific way, however you pray. But when you have inner serenity and the inner light is radiating, then everything you do is a prayer at that point. And that's the goal, to where in your life becomes a praise of the Most High. Your life, anything that you have that is a positive, good attribute, is a loaned attribute from the Most High. And I wanted to make this point, is that, how can I say it? The one that created us wants us to be like him. Now, you notice I said him, that's a masculine pronoun. And we don't believe that God is a man. We don't believe that God is a woman. We don't believe that we are his children. We believe that we are his creation. And I'm only using he because this is the language that we're stuck in English. In Arabic, there is something special just for him that is neither male nor female, because we know that he's neither male nor female, human nor inhuman. Okay? He exists, but he doesn't physically consist of anything. Anything that you imagine of him, he's greater than that. And from that mind-blowing opening of realization of who the Most High is, we gather the strength and the spiritual energy we need to activate our yaqeen, our certainty. okay? Because we're not relying upon ourselves. We're relying upon the one that created sun, moon, and stars, who makes the sun come up every day, who maintains everything with no help and never becomes sleepy. And then we use that yaqeen to activate our irada, our will, to overcome obstacles. And those obstacles are really not external, they're internal. So to overcome ourselves, once you gain mastery of yourself, you become the master of everything around you. So I know I'm speaking in some pretty broad strokes. Well, we have limited time, but I want to encourage you all to take some moments to sit and be still and to reflect on why you were created. Don't go into your reflection telling yourself why you're created. Go into that reflective space empty, allowing the answers to seep in with no sort of um, assistance from, and I'm not suggesting anyone here is using any sort of narcotics or anything like that, but we live in an age where people are trying to find answers desperately. And so there's reaching out by means of hallucinogenics and marijuana and all these things. And yeah, they might give you a little bit of a glimpse of something, but you're still skewed by an external chemical or force. And you don't need that, because all the power for, how can I say, enlightenment, you were born with it. It's locked within you. So in our spiritual tradition, we've been taught something very potent that I want to share with you. I think it'll make all of what I said come more into focus. And that is, one of my teachers said, have you ever seen someone dig a well and pour water in it? I said, no, I've never seen that. He said, you never will, because the purpose is to dig the well to take the water out of it. So we're not searching for water externally. We are excavating within, okay? And that means having to make peace with yourself. You know, like my daughter said in the beginning, when she reflected upon some of the challenges that, she's, faced in her life, and some of her family members have faced, and some of our family members have faced. This is not an abnormal thing. Unfortunately, we're all being faced with these sorts of challenges, and then we have to overcome them. You have to excavate within, and that means walking over. It said that those first steps are like bare feet over thorns, because you've got to look at yourself. You've got to look at the putrid aspects of yourself that need to be purified. You have to look at those things that you may not care for about yourself, and you've got to admit them and overcome them. I was speaking to my son earlier about this, and then I was talking to someone else about him with regard to that. I'm talking about my son that's married to Zainab. And I was telling them how much I admire his courage. And that person told me, he was never a coward. I said, yeah, you're right about that. He was never a person that was afraid, because, I mean, to say, personal matters, but he has gone about the impossibly difficult task of confronting himself. And I'm extremely proud of that, because nowadays the norm is for me to confront you, or for someone to confront someone else and never confront themselves. That takes irada. That takes will. That takes willpower. See? And I want to caution all of us against this modern trend of people who are bathing in trauma. And it's really weakening people. I'm not saying don't face them, but it can't become a cult or a religion where you just celebrate what you went through and what this one's going through. Where is the overcoming of that and the conquest of the condition that led to the trauma? All right. We don't want to just go rehearsing. He went through this, she went through that. No, that's not what finding your phoenix is about. Finding your phoenix is about locating the source of the trauma and annihilating it. Okay. So you might find a prickly cactus there. Finding your phoenix is cutting that cactus out and putting some roses there. This is what we have to do within. So I don't want to speak too long. I think my daughter might be one of the few people that likes to hear me run my mouth. So I don't like to do a whole lot of talking. I would like to be of service in some kind of way. Zainab, I don't know, was this the type of situation where people would ask questions or something? Or
Yes. So I love when you speak in whatever capacity we're talking about. Yes, after we have each session, we open up the floor for anyone to ask any questions that they may have, to share their personal experiences, and just this is just a safe space to be open, to be free, to get free, and to get the wisdom and the support and the accountability. So
yes,
but thank you for all of the wisdom that you shared, and just reminding us that we have that certainty, like we have to activate that certainty of who we are, because without
yes,
that activation, which I'm so thankful for you, because you activated that for me, like
yes,
that was a thing where I was able to activate my certainty in the midst of everything that I was questioning. I was questioning being an entrepreneur. I was questioning the ability to be a great mom. And you were like, go within, go outside. I remember the day like it was yesterday. And I went, I did exactly what you told me to do. And I
yes,
never looked back. I never
yes,
looked back. And it was a day
yes,
of activation. That was the day I took my Shahada. That was the day I went out and I let the sun just do the sun, do what the sun
yes,
does. And
yes.
so thank you for that, because that's 3 years ago now, 2019, or
Yeah.
and I
We worked for four
never,
years. That's
yes,
right.
I never look back. So I love that everything that you share, your wisdom, because I know that it comes from a place that I can't even describe. I know
Yes,
that it's just, spiritually transmission. And
yes,
when we met, you did not know what I was going through, but your
yes,
words were like, "Hey, I have a message for you." And I was like, "Why are you in my business? Like, why do you know everything?" And
yes.
so what you said tonight that
Let
really,
me say something.
mhm.
And I've never told you this. So it's really, it's really interesting because when I first saw you, it was in Georgia, and you came into a room, and I was with my son. And I actually saw you come in before they did because he was looking at some people, and you came walking in, and I said, "Who is this woman, and why is she with these people?" I was just really just like, she doesn't belong with these people. But the qualities I saw was something that I always saw in my mother. When
Hmm.
you were walking up, I saw that. I said, I know that energy there. I know what that is.
Hmm.
And I know what that needs. Because my mother was someone, she passed in 2016, who always had the power to transform, but always was a little unsure of her ability to do it. And she didn't have people around her pushing her unconditionally. So when I saw you, I said, I know exactly what this one needs and what to do. And this is something that I want to share with people, is that when you connect with people and you support them, it must be unconditional, with no limit, and with no what's the word? I'm thinking of the word in Arabic, but motive. It can't be with an agenda like, oh, I'm going to get this. No, it has to be purely selfless. I'm not saying I was that way, but that was the intent, was to try to be that, to try to be that. And out of that, you'll see miracles, which, I mean, I don't want to go too far with the personal business of the family, but we're seeing miracles. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm just so thankful that our creator gave you the sense of discernment
Yeah.
to be able to see and be what I need right when I needed it. Because
Yes.
every season and every walk, every part of my life, there have been people that came to coach me to the next level in track and field, or to teach me how to do my naps. Like there's just been people, and I feel like this was the most pivotal and critical time, and there needed to be a very special person to come and hold me,
Yes.
grab my hand, because not and look what I needed. Nobody can handle that. Nobody can handle that. Nobody
Yes.
can provide security, a father
Yes.
figure. Nobody can
Yes.
provide, like, you just got to have a special calling. So I'm so thankful that you have surrendered and continuously surrendered, and you
Yes.
walk in that, and you have no shame. And I love that
Yes.
you are so resilient, and you are absolutely fearless. Like you,
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
my daddy be like, I don't care, like, what's up? Like, he does not care who don't like him, what
Yeah.
anybody has to say. He's like, I'm gonna do this work. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
what you say. I'm gonna protect
Yes.
my family, and it is
Yes.
what it is. So I thank you for seeing me. And I recently watched this movie called Avatar. And in that movie, Avatar, they greet each other like this. And they
Yeah.
what that means is, I see you. And what you
Yes.
just described is what I felt when I
Yeah.
watched that movie. They see each other.
Yes.
So
Yes. 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 Well, when you appeared, it was really at a time where I needed a miracle. I needed affirmation of, okay, so I know I'm supposed to be doing this work, but I need some proof. Now, prophets have even gotten to the point where they had something with their Lord where they were like, I'm not afraid, I'm not doubtful, but show me something to keep me going. So I know I'm not just like going crazy here. It was after COVID. It was a period of like isolation and stuff. And at that point I was very much kind of like isolated. And then when you showed up with these things, and then it was like a flood of these good things, I said, oh, okay. Okay, this is confirmation. And all I need to do is just see the gap. I'm going. I said, that's it. This is Yakin. I wasn't sure. I wasn't confident. I knew for Yakin certainty. This is it. This is it. You know, this girl's a miracle, and it's gonna happen. Yeah. And you see it's unfolding. You see. Yeah.
is, and again, I thank you. And I'm looking at the comments in the chat, and Miss Cheryl said, I can cry right now. This is resonating so deeply.
Oh, I
Miss
didn't even see the
Jeanette, who is
comments.
so amazing. She says, I feel very blessed receiving this message. Please keep sharing. Please keep talking. Crystal said, please keep talking. This is all confirmation. Rhonda says this is all confirmation from personal prayers. And so this
Yes.
is so aligned, because everybody on this call is meant to be on this call. So if you
Yes.
did pray for something, or you put something out into the universe, this space is a manifestation of something
Yes.
needed. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
this space is, and so now anyone, I really don't like sharing my daddy with the world, but I know I have to, because and I'm actually really encouraging him to do so now, because of how life-changing it was for me. And so
Yes.
I'm like, okay, like, I know you can help so many. So daddy, like when you launching. So anyone on here that needs a spiritual mentor, or just like some wisdom, or even someone on here was asking, how do you spell the Arabic words? Arabic is the language of love, and
Yes, it
Arabic
is.
is truly the true language. So
Mm.
my father is fluent in Arabic, so you can tap in there, and
Well,
every
let them know that you're my manager. So if they want to get to me, they gotta go through you. You'll arrange everything. I'll just do whatever I need to do. But yeah.
it's true. If someone does want to tap in with my dad, I can definitely be that connection for you. If you've been praying for some type of a guidance, or some understanding, or just really struggling with tapping into the power within because of your external stuff that's been going on, he acts as like an activation, like a portal for, like, just activating that. And tonight is about finding your phoenix and getting your mind right. But you
Yeah.
cannot get your mind right with all that pollution. The
Mm.
phones. Can you tell the story? You know how you explained to me about the Apple on the iPhone? Um,
Yes,
can you give me
absolutely.
details
It's
about that?
interesting you say it. Do I have it here? Okay, so I have an iPad here, and you see that symbol there. Okay, so that symbol is probably the most ubiquitous and popular symbol for technology on the planet Earth right now, is that apple. And when you see the apple, you notice it has a bite taken out of it. And that bite is this is modeled after the story from the Bible and from the Quran about Adam having well, his wife having told him to eat from the tree that he was forbidden to eat from, and he took a bite from the apple, and that being a symbol of his disobedience. And so this symbol is the symbol supposedly of Adam's disobedience to the Most High. And why would someone choose a symbol of disobedience to the divine as their logo? And you find most people are transfixed in Apple products 85 to 90% of the day. They're just looking in the phone, looking in the phone, looking in the device, looking in this. And it's not because they're finding answers that will improve the human condition. It's because they're addicted to something. People's attention spans have been really tampered with by phones. We already know it's rampant with pornography and bad things, and young people are going in there and their minds are being destroyed by this stuff. The young this um disease of pornography with young people is out of control, and it's proliferated through these devices, and the most prevalent device is Apple. Okay, so that's not some nice friendly thing, but it's amazing how something that has so much potential good but winds up being so incredibly not good is packaged so nicely and sleek and pretty, just like so many other things that are harmful. They don't package them the way they really are. They make it look like it's something really pleasant, and then within that, it's like a viper waiting to suck your life force out of you. Yes. Someone said they had a question, Zainab. I don't know who it was, but I saw that go by.
Okay. Thank you for breaking that down too. And it's just, I wanted you to highlight that because it just also contributes to us needing to really protect ourselves and just really know who we are. But at this time, the floor is open for any questions that anyone may have. Rhonda said, I really need to connect with him, an activator like him. So Miss Rhonda, I'll get you connected. Joy said, I don't even know how I got the invite. I've been praying for a direction to go in. I'm grateful to be here. She's going through pretty much a eviction, finances. Spirit has been calling me to help humanity. I'm so grateful to be here. You're welcome, Rhonda. So at this time, I know Jade said she has a question. You can either raise your hand or you can just unmute yourself, have respect for everyone, and you can ask your question. Miss Cheryl, if you and your husband are interested in speaking with him, email me at hi@risewithzainab, and I'll get you over his consultation links and things like that within the next 48 hours. Just send me an email so we can have it. So Jade, you have a question, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for this transmission. It's been like I've had chills this entire time. My question is, what is your advice for my current situation is like so much of what you said has resonated so deeply, and it's not necessarily like new information. I think where my struggle is at is like being surrounded by family who just do not see or get it. Like they so much operate out of fear, out of lack, and I'm constantly being bombarded with their projections of that fear and lack. And I'm really doing the best that I can as a single mom with a 1.5-year-old to really like stay tapped in to that inner certainty, that divine certainty. But it's a struggle. Like it's a struggle, like constantly being told, like, for lack of better words, that like you're crazy, like what are these dreams that you have, like what are you talking about, like you just need to go get a 9 to 5 and put that child in daycare, I don't know what you're talking about, like.
Yeah.
And my intuition, my soul is like, no, like I know that I have such a bigger purpose than that. I know I have such a bigger purpose than just going to be a slave for somebody else's corporation, and to put my child in, the hands of someone else all day long, like, so that I can go work 10 hours. Like, I just know that's not for me. And it's just really challenging, like, to be just constantly like,
Mhm.
um, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm just wondering like what your advice is
Well,
to, yeah.
number one, thank you for attending this and being involved with my daughter. I would advise you, number one, to stay very close to her. And she's working on something now. She's been working on something for some time, a retreat. So this is a part of my answer to you. And the reason why something like that would be important is because you have to find your tribe. And your tribe is not always just those you're biologically connected to, is those you're spiritually connected to. And any great communities that have formed throughout the ages, they always have been formed by mixtures of people. Like right now, this country is not doing a lot of things good around the world, but for a long period of time, it's been the number one nation on the planet because it's a mixture. However, unfair it's been, you have to find those people who you connect with on the spiritual level to get your self revitalized. One of the analogies that one of my teachers gave me is that when you're with your people, you could be like a glass so full, and then their glass is more full, and then their glass helps fill yours. So if you're around people who are just reinforcing negative things, first of all, with family, those ties are sacred, so you never want to break them. So you have to be patient with them. You have to maintain ties with them. But sometimes you have to pay them an honorable avoidance and give them enough space where you don't lose who you are. Great men and women have been tested throughout the ages by their biological family, and then you have to have faith, because I know from experience that the Most High will send someone to straighten all that out in ways you have no clue. I'm not speaking like this, not spooky talk. I'm telling you my lived experience. Okay. And so, you have to connect with the people that resonate like you. This is important. And then find strength with them. And this is not um, as difficult as it was because of social media, but it's so much distraction in there that sometimes you can become clouded away from what you can open Instagram looking for something like a good recipe and spend 30 minutes looking at the new dance craze because it's just so like visually like, whoa, what are they doing? So connection with your tribe is very important. And you're not here coincidentally. I'm talking about on the Zoom. You're not connected with my daughter coincidentally. This is all destiny. It really is. Yeah, it really is. We can speak some more about that once she sets up. However, if you want to, connect and speak some other time. Did that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And also, I'm happy you're here, Jade. I don't believe in any type of coincidence either. There's a lot of synchronicities in our stories, in our journeys. And like my father said, a lot of times someone that the people that you need are going to just show up. And just as much as you need this community also needs you, because the business ventures that you're working on are to bring harmony to the environment. And everything that you represent is to harmonize and balance. So we need you as much as you need us. So no coincidence at all. I'm really happy that you're here, and I'm happy to continue to connect. I mean not Joy, but Miss Rhonda, you can unmute yourself and you can ask whatever question now you have.
Hi everyone. I was listening with my camera off because I was doing some meditation and I needed some time to myself. And when I joined the call, I came in on some more divine things and I get overwhelmed and I didn't want to be on the camera all messed up, And so when I decided to take this class, I was very excited and I told my dad. And these years, these time frames you guys keep bringing up ring a bell in my life. My granny passed away in 2016, so she transitioned. Huge transference of power to me. I literally felt it in my body. And then in 2019, I reconnected with my biological father after 40 years. And he came along at a time I literally was on my knees praying, and I said, God, I'm ready. I don't have any resistance in my body. I didn't have any blame for why he chose not to be there or what it was. I just knew that I needed that in my life to get past a toxic period in my life where, I wasn't so whole because I wasn't loving myself correctly. I didn't have my father in my life. It was just one of those things. But he came back in 2019. We've been repairing our relationship. And I'm going to tell y'all, when I told him about this course, his reaction was not what I expected. And I've been the one encouraging him through this whole thing. I'm like, I need a daddy. Like, I'm here, I am teaching him how to be a daddy to me. It's like, don't be so rough because, he's like, well, what did you do for financial things before I came along? This is just a little fast forward. And I said, well, I could see why you might think that I haven't accomplished some things because you've been gone for about 45 years. But here, let me break it down to you. And it's okay. And I understand why you may think that. But moving forward, he didn't react. And I cried about it. What he said to me, I'm not going to tell y'all until we celebrate at the end of this thing. I got on my knees and I cried in the bathroom. I was really, really mad. And I had to still choose to love him in the midst of his ignorance because I basically felt like he said he didn't believe in me. I was like, what you believe? I'm a wonderful thing. I'm a wonderful seed. I know what I'm doing. This is my vision for our whole family that I can help us. And I was like, I'm going to believe in me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to believe in me. I was thumping through this house praying and praising God. And then my oldest son heard me and he said, Mom, I'll pay for your class.
Wow.
My 21-year-old son, who was my 26th birthday present, I was in labor for 4 days. He said, Mama, I'll pay for your class because I believe in you and the stuff that you've been teaching us and showing us and doing for yourself. That's all I'm gonna share for now. And I just wanted to share that for somebody who might not have somebody on their side going, I had to believe in me and give myself my own party in this room. My feelings got hurt. I got mad. I was like, what you mean? I was like, you know what? I believe in me. And then my baby told me he would pay for my class. We're gonna be a little late paying rent. I'm just telling y'all, this is serious. This is serious. And I just wanted to lend some love and some energy and strength to anybody who need it, who might be like me, who is on this island with just them and their babies and God. Because I'm gonna show those people who said that they didn't believe in what I was about to do. It's funny to me, but I just wanted to share that. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. That was a whole message in itself. I believe in me. That we could have ended the call right then and there. Because at the end of the day, like my father was saying, you got to activate, Daddy, what's the word? The certainty within. You have
Certainty, Yakin. That's right.
Yakin, you got to activate that. And you did that when you spoke those words. I don't know what your father said to you, but it was amazing that you didn't have a traumatic reaction, right? You didn't go into like trauma response. You went into like healing response. Well, I'm gonna believe in me. Like you just broke some generational curses right there. You literally just did something spiritually by responding in love for yourself, opposed to responding in a trauma reaction. You just did something that we can't even see, but I got goosebumps and I can feel it. And the fact that your son heard you, you just did something to his generation and yours. And even whatever was going on between you and your father, you just did something there too. Like that is so powerful. So thank you for sharing your story, your experience. And I really appreciate the transparency. And I understand like the need for that father's validation. My biological father, who knows where he is? I don't know. But Allah sent me someone that is more than what I could like imagine in a father. So as a young adult, I feel you like going to your dad after you just reconnected, like you want that, hey dad, like this is what I got going on, and not to get that, oh my God, I get it. So thank you for that. But choosing you, mama, oh, you did that.
Yes, thank you.
And I just gotta give you a hand clap for that,
Yeah,
because
really,
that is
really,
not
really,
Gratitude,
easy. It's
gratitude,
really.
not easy.
gratitude, gratitude.
So, and a lot of thank yous in here. Tamir said,
Yeah.
thank you for being transparent. I'm sorry for the
Oh,
noise, y'all. Shanisha and Ashley and Cash, you know. So thank
oh, you're
you.
welcome. You're
Thank
welcome, ladies. I'm here to be a blessing however I can and learn a lot. Like I'm just sitting back but it's just so many bells that's ringing, like these dates that you guys keep talking about, and then the different actions. And I'm like, everybody is in everybody's business because this is divine alignment. This is a divine assignment. We're divinely led here. We're all, when I heard the sister yesterday talk about some $7,000 a month rent, I said, we about to be wealthy. I'm on this call with some people that's ready to do some things. And not that we already aren't, but it's just stepping into those different levels of wealth and getting our mindset and bodies aligned. And I'm finally in alignment with the tribe. It took me a long time to find y'all. It took me a long time, but I went into prayer, and that's how we all got here. And we followed different promptings, and we took a chance on ourselves. So I'm just happy to be here. I'll always have something to say, just so you know. But this is a really fulfilling experience for me, and I'm all in, like all in.
It's
Thank you.
absolutely
It's a
wonderful. Well,
blessing.
we're happy you're here.
Yes.
We're gonna take one more call, one more question from Joy, and then yeah, if it's okay, if you can close us out after Joy's question, we
Yes, yes. Yeah,
close
I'm here as
with
long as you need
prayer
me.
or whatever you feel led to close us with.
Sure,
But at this
sure.
time, Joy, you can ask your question or make the comment. You can unmute yourself.
All right. I'm sorry if my voice is shaky. The last sister that was just speaking just basically set it off for me. Like I said in the chat, I don't know how I got this invite. Yesterday when I saw the email, I clicked on the link and I saw how much it was, and I said, well, God, maybe next time. I have been following you for years, like years. And I even sent you an email. You put a clip on Instagram. It was like your first clip about you having. I just remember like you were barefoot and you were walking in the jungle, and you were just talking about having this retreat and being free. And the next thing I saw was you were in Egypt and you were talking about the school that you were helping with. And I had a dream, and I was in Egypt, and I was with you, and I was with your mother, and I was pouring into these women with you. And I sent you an email, and I was like, I don't even know if she's gonna get this email. Like, she is far above what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm dealing with life. But I said, when I clicked on the link today, and I was like, ain't no way I'm actually on here. Like, ain't no way I'm actually on here, but I'm just gonna make sure my camera is off just in case she realized, oh wait, this person didn't pay. But yeah, no, like the same. My father was a pimp and turned crackhead, and my mother was a prostitute, and I was raised in that lifestyle, and I was beaten and molested and sold into child pornography, and I was just given away at a young age. And even though all of that stuff was happening to me, I remember this one time I was like 7 years old, and remember, like, TV, that's what TV used to go off. It had TV used to turn off. But just before it would turn off, there was these infomercials about save the children in Africa. And this one preacher dude used to wave his coat, and he used to make people fall out in the name of Jesus. And I didn't know nothing about God. I didn't know nothing about Jesus. I didn't know nothing about any of it. All I knew was sex, drugs, and everything. So I remember I looked up at the moon. My dad hadn't been home, and I was hungry, and I was laying on the floor, and I said, you know, God, if you're real, kill me, sacrifice me like you did Jesus, because I have so much love and so much joy to give this world that I know if everybody just had a little piece of me, the war would stop, the hunger would stop, the pain would stop. And I asked God to sacrifice me at 7 years old. And even though life kept on going on and things kept on happening, I never let go of the fact that I know I'm here for a purpose. And I just want to say thank you so much. Whoever snuck my name in this call, however God put me on here, I'm so grateful. And that's about all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Can I say something to her, Zainab?
Please, please, please.
So, this thing that you went through is a testimony to something. And that is, and I've told my daughter this, I've told different people this that it applied to, and it's not a pep talk, it's a fact. If you took a Tiffany diamond, right? That's like the highest, best cut diamond. And you put that diamond in some horse manure and left it there for 1,000,000 years, would that change the nature of the diamond?
No.
Just wash it off, it's still a Tiffany diamond. Now, if you take horse manure and put it in a Tiffany diamond box for 10,000,000 years, it's still going to be horse manure. Okay.
Yes.
So, people like yourself that have this goodness in them, it doesn't matter what's heaped on them. It doesn't matter because they just wash it right off if the core is good. Now, there's also in Arabia, there's a building called the Kaaba. And this Kaaba has a stone in it that was a meteorite that used to be clear. It used to be, you could see straight through it. But now it's very opaque and like dark because the people that circumambulate around it, it pulls it's like a filter. It pulls all of their wrong to it. So there are also human beings that have this quality that their favor is one that maybe they can't appreciate in a moment. And that is that they attract the wrongdoing and this and that, or some of the things that humankind, because they are that Tiffany diamond and they're built to deal with it, whether they realize it or not. Because you're saving someone whose name you don't even know, who's not built like that. Yeah. So you don't look at that with, and I know this is difficult, to say, oh, hey, you should just deal with that. No, I'm not suggesting that, but you can't look at it as a way of, though it's like a stain. It's a badge of honor. Yeah. Suffering for the Most High is a badge of honor. Yeah. So, you embrace that part of yourself. There's nothing to be like, ashamed of or any of that. I don't feel shame coming from you, so I'm not saying that, but it's an honor to hear what you said and to know what it is that you came from, because that's blessed soil. Yeah. Difficulty breeds perfection, spiritual perfection. Yes. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank you as well for sharing that, because it's I know it's not easy. It's not always easy to be transparent, and also in a room full of strangers, you being able to just share your story. But something my mom likes to say is, you built for this, right? So like,
Yes.
you are 100% built for this, and you have proven time and time again that you are built for it. And I'm just really excited to see what is going to manifest. I'm really excited to see what you birth. Oh my God, like, because I feel like your pain is your purpose. Your pain is your power. And so as you work through these moments and you reflect on things that you've gone through and you lay that foundation and you start to pour into other women, oh, you a powerhouse. But even with that comes a lot of tribulations and trials, because people gonna see this light and they're gonna attack this light. And I'm not saying that to make you feel afraid, but you really have something so special, something so special. Now I just have so much respect for you for sharing. I'm happy that you're here. It's interesting you said you were wondering how the link came. I was talking to my husband and I was telling my husband, my father-in-law is someone that I just respect and admire so much. And I was talking to my husband. I was like, I really want Daddy to come on. And something just dropped in my spirit, because what he shares is, I don't want to just keep keeping it to myself. And so I was
Yeah.
like, there's someone that is going to be able to really, really, really receive what he has to say. And my husband was like, yeah, send the link out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna send the link out. And he was like, but this, don't do it again, because the people that pay might be mad. And I was like, all right, I ain't gonna do it again. I'm not gonna do it again. But today just felt like it just needed to go out, because I didn't know what message my daddy was gonna bring. And that link could have went to everyone, because you were supposed to be here. My mom just texted me and said, make sure you get her information. So I don't know if she wants to say something really quick. Mom, you're on here. But the analogy about the diamond, I love when my father tells me that analogy. Like, I just absolutely love it, because it reminds me that I am who I am. Like, I am created in the image of the mighty. Hello, I'm a reflection of the mighty. And no matter what I go through, no matter what I have done, after whatever, I'm still whole. I'm still qualified. I'm still
Yeah.
loved. I'm still a reflection. I'm still a create. Like, I just get really hyped about it. But I'm happy you're here, and I'm thankful that you shared. I don't take anything lightly for granted. Miss Nicole, did you want to say something real quick? I'm gonna
Yeah,
hop
you
on.
saw me look, I raised my hand. I said, well, let me just raise my hand. Hello, everybody. Hello, Brother Hassan. Thank you so much
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
message.
Yes.
Everybody's just like mesmerized. The people that had their cameras on were just like stuck. Nothing was moving. So I really, really appreciate that.
Yes.
Joy, you are not
Yes.
alone. I just want you to know that, our stories are very similar. And if I can do it, you can do it. And if I have to
Yes.
reach to pull you, I'm here for you. And I mean that with everything in me. Like, I heard and I felt and I've seen and listen, I get it. We're looking in the mirror. Okay. So drop somehow, some way. I'm gonna put my email in the chat. I need to get your information, because you have a powerful story and it needs to be shared. And I'm gonna help you with that.
Y'all.
Because you could have done so many other things. You could have done so many other things as a result. And you're not. You're still love and light and share and want to help people. And that is what it's all about. Brother Hassan said, like, we took one for the team so that we can help somebody. And it's going to take somebody that been there, done that, and understands and has
Yes.
empathy, and not just sympathy, but can feel it. And that's what I feel from you.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am. It's just so much confirmation, and God gives me dreams. And for as long as I can remember, people have always told me I'm crazy, but everything I dream comes, it happens. And I mean, I tell you, I was standing on that Egyptian soil.
girl,
I'm just so grateful.
if I tell you my story with Egypt, it would blow your mind. It was really, but I'm not gonna hold the Zoom hostage. But there's so many things that is just I don't even know what to say, really. I'm like, wow. Wow.
Ooh, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
So,
so much. Thank you.
yes.
So somehow, some way, let's connect. Joy, I don't know if I saw an email previously. If you can resend it. There was a
Oh,
lot of
this was like this was about a year, maybe 2 years ago.
okay.
And it
Okay.
was long. It was like a whole book. And like after I sent it off, I was like, ain't nobody gonna read your book, girl. It was long. But I sent it in faith. I had that dream and I sent it in faith. And I was like, it is what it is. I'm just gonna send it and I'm gonna give it to God and let it go out there to the ether. And when it come back, it come back. It'll be my time when it come back. And when I tell y'all, I moved all the way down to a border city. I don't know if y'all know anything about Laredo, Texas, but it's
Yes.
literally on the border of Mexico.
Yeah.
And there's no ethnicity out here other than Hispanic. So me and my children really have been like secluded, and it's been a really long time, very quiet moment of just us in almost to the brink of I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Like I was like, I don't have a single person to talk to. I'm just listening to YouTube clips after YouTube clips. And I was like, these are my tribe people. This is my community. And even though they're not talking to me directly, they're talking to me and I'm talking back to them. So honestly, to be on this call right now is so surreal. It really is. I'm gonna go to sleep and wake up in the morning and just be like, "Ain't no way that happened." But yes, I'm truly, 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 truly grateful, and I'm really excited to see what everybody on this call is getting ready to walk into. And I'm truly grateful you sent this link out. Yes, thank you.
Thank my husband. He was the culprit. Um, so and it was divine alignment, and I was just on such a cloud nine after I talked to my daddy earlier at lunchtime. I was just feeling kind of high. I was like, Dad, can you come on tonight, please? Because can't nobody relay a message the way that you relay a message. And it was very receptive, and I'm so
Mhm.
grateful that within an hour he was like, I'll be there. He's here with us. So um thank you again, Father, and thank
Pleasure.
you everyone for
Pleasure.
being on here. Joy, we'll connect. Send us an email, hi@risewithzainab.com. Please, right
All
away.
right.
And just put in the subject something like to Zainab and Miss Nicole. Like, I don't want my assistant to respond. So say like this has to be read by Zainab or something like that. But
Okay.
the rest to everyone else on here, I'll tell you what to expect coming, then my father is gonna close us out. But just really quick, I'm just gonna show you what the itinerary looks like for everyone that did subscribe and pay, invest in yourself for this. Let me just show you really quick what we're looking at, and then my father's gonna close us out, and we will see each other on the 8th. And y'all know I told you yesterday, this was put together in such a meticulous way because there's so many different things that we need to know that is kept from us. There's so much information that is you got to dig through hoops and I mean jump through hoops and just dig to get this information. So Find Your Phoenix, the 6 weeks is giving you everything that you need in a span of 6 weeks. Y'all know I'm preparing to bring in my other baby into this world. So I wanted to do something before I go on maternity leave because this is something I wanted to do next year. But I'm like, oh, I gotta do it now because it's just now. Now is the time. So real quick, I'm just gonna share my screen. My father will close us out, and I'll post this recording somewhere. I'll let you know where. But the remainder of this, we're gonna tap into the wealth within. We have that on November the 8th. And then on November the 10th, we're going to bring it all together and have a vision board party. It's very important that you're clear on your goals. It's important that you have a vision. Yes, you have purpose. Yes, you have a testimony, but what is your vision? What are you doing with this? And so we're going to do a vision board together, and then we'll start the next week with the meditation to seal the deal. And then the meditation will lead us into, how do you fix your credit? How do you get paid to fix your credit? Is it really true that you can get monetization for something inaccurate on your credit score, on your credit report? We're going to talk about how you build and leverage your credit. Okay, now you got your credit score where you want it to be. What are you going to do with it? How do you build it? How do you leverage it? We're going to talk about my other favorite, be your own boss. How do you become your own boss? My father helped me to activate that entrepreneur spirit. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Like, I'm launching this business. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm launching. I never look back. So I launched the business. I'm going to show you how to do the same. If you've already launched your business, we're going to go over, is your LLC established properly? Are you in a position to get business funding? So we're going to have Martina come in, who is my tax lady. She's going to give us the tea on being in compliance. And then we're going to talk about trust setup and estate planning. Buying and investing in existing businesses. So you can buy existing businesses if you are like, oh, I don't feel like starting from scratch. I don't feel like doing all this planning. Give me something that's already up and running. Give me a juice bar. We're going to show you how you can buy existing businesses, how you can owner finance them instead of having to take out loans and do all this crazy stuff. And then my other favorite, how can you live anywhere in the world? If you have a U.S. passport, how are you able to live in Costa Rica? How can you go live in Egypt? What does that look like? How do you find affordable housing abroad? How do you find investment opportunities abroad? We're going to solidify all of that information with another meditation. We'll open up the floor for some one-on-one coaching. And then we're going to close with adjusting to life abroad, because I really want to empower you to explore the world and adjust to traveling with your children, adjust to life abroad, adjust to the language barrier, adjust to the currency exchange. And then on December the 15th, that will be our ceremony. So you're going to be getting a lot of information. This is for the person that's ready to be your own boss. You're ready to take control of your credit. You're ready to generate multiple streams of income, not just one. You should have a minimum of 7. You're ready to set up a trust and learn about estate planning. And you can just simply use a community of like-minded individuals. And for those of you that did pay in full, you paid the full price, you didn't use a discount code. My husband has an amazing company that does your credit for you. I wish this existed early in my journey, but if you paid in full, you will, you already received it. You already received your contract because I confirmed that today. So you had already got your contract. You didn't use a discount code, that came early this morning. So they'll get started on that. So that's what the next couple of weeks looks like. If you're new here, you're like, oh, I still want to join. You still have time. If you are a part of this program, you're like, oh, I feel like this is a lot. It's okay because everything is going to be recorded. You can go at your own pace. You don't have to worry about taking a big test or anything like that. You have this community. You can always go back to the information. But as long as you can secure yourself as an entrepreneur, you will be successful. As long as you are secure within, you will be successful, period. Yes. Believing in yourself, activating that certainty within yourself, you will be successful. Like I said earlier before I started this call, I grew up in a trailer park. Statistically, there's no reason why I should be having property internationally. There's no reason why this trailer park girl with a drug addict mother at the time should be living her best life, traveling the world, sitting on the Nile River, crying with my mother. Like the way that it unfolded for us ain't nothing but God. So I'm telling you, do not use what you've been through to validate or dictate where you're going, because you're wrong. More than likely you're wrong. Because to me, living in a double wide trailer instead of a single wide trailer was a come up. Because we had a little single wide, it was just one little. I wanted a double wide, And so we wanted to work towards a double wide. And here we are just sitting on land, sitting on lands just everywhere. So don't underestimate God, and don't try to write the plan, because you probably are gonna be a little less you probably might be what is it called? Underestimating or under delivering. But that's what the next 6 weeks look like. And I'm honored to host this and to share space with you. And once again, Dad, I'm so happy that you joined us tonight.
Yes.
Mom, always thank you for your support, your love, and just being present.
Yes.
And Daddy, if you can, just close us with anything you feel will just close us out perfectly for tonight.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'll say some words. It'll be in Arabic. And I'm not going to get into the translation now. Maybe we can do that some other time, but I think the energy will transmit. So this is a prayer that when you have a gathering and you end the gathering, you end it with this to seal it with a blessing. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق وخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالعظيم آمين.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, I put my email in the chat. Anyone that is interested in a one-on-one with my father, that is available now or in the next week or so. So we can get you scheduled, get you connected to him, and whatever it is that you need, whatever guidance that you need. He's extremely intuitive. So just trust me, y'all. Just trust me. But we'll get you connected. So email me. I know there was a husband and wife on here that wanted to connect, and Tamara wants to connect. So yeah, very, very powerful session. So Jade, we will talk about student loans. And Jade wants to connect too. So email. We'll make that happen. And it is 8:02 Central, 9:02. So we right on time.
Perfect.
And yeah, Mom, did you? And my mom also, if anyone has she's a licensed therapist as well. So some trauma stuff, like if y'all want to connect with her, the resources are also there. And I'll tell everybody later about the retreat that I am planning to host in Alabama. The details will come later.
Yes.
But my daddy kind of let the cat out the bag. But yeah, we're definitely planning a very, very, very intimate retreat. And that'll happen soon. But for now, everyone that still wants to join, you can. But until now, we'll see you next time. So good night, everybody. Thank you, Dad. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I will upload this recording and share it. And I see everybody on the 8th. Everyone that's enrolled, I'll see you on the 8th. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.